Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, back again. We are on it and ready to do it.
Up next, the last standing Samoan, Nick Udom.
I really, really hate people.
Me too. After this week, I just want them to all disappear.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, your favorite walking trigger warning, Curtis Lendenfield.
So I've been getting older, obviously, like we all do, and I looked in the mirror and I noticed I'm starting to get some wrinkles. And then the phrase, black don't crack, popped in my head, and it kind of pissed me off. Black don't crack. Somebody obviously does, and I never see any whites or Mexicans smoking it.
Oh my Jeez. I thought we were going to have like a well-thought-out commentary on the elasticity of black skin tonight. No. Alright, so this has been a pretty big week for the channel. We keep growing, we keep moving forward. We launched a secondary channel on Ring Rust, which is a wrestling podcast. If you like wrestling, check it out. If you don't. We didn't want to bombard the listeners of World Class Bullshitters with wrestling because it seems to piss everyone off. But before we get into what pisses us off and other shit like that, I'd like to give a very special shout out to the listener of the week, Jonathan Showalter. He's also the newest patron. Thank you, sir. Send us a question, we'll read it on air, and I will send you your digital poster within the week. Also, another very special shout out to Kendo Slice, Brian Late, and Liquid Metal Pro. Those guys have come together to release the Fancast Episode 2. And guys, I gotta tell you, from the moment you released it through the end of the episode, I was entertained. I listened to it the entire time at the gym, through the cardio, the hot girls, all that stuff, and I was enjoying it. I actually looked like an asshole because I started laughing at one point, and everyone just stared at me. So, thanks for that. But more importantly, thanks for creating the show. It's entertaining. And listeners out there, if you like World Class Bullshitters and you would like an auxiliary experience, check out the Fancast, spelled C-A-S-T-E, like the cast system. And you'll be entertained. The guys are smart. Brian Lape's got a lot to talk about. Kendo Slice is hilarious. And Liquid Metal Pro is also hilarious. So, if you after World Class Bullshitters, check them out.
Is there a way we can put a link to that in the description for this video?
Yeah, let me take a note, and I will do that. So while I'm taking a note, let's head it over to the news desk. Curtis Lendenfield, you got anything to talk about this week?
Yeah, not much. It's been a pretty light week, especially with E3, because all the websites I steal the news from have just been covering video games, and we really don't give a shit about those. But I got some news that I'm not happy with. Now, I'm already not looking forward to the Justice League, but I think they found a way to make it worse, and that is by replacing the composer, Junkie XL, with Danny Elfman. I fucking hate Danny Elfman.
You hate the greatest composer of our time.
The greatest composer. Okay.
Yeah, I can't even say that with a straight face.
He's just too fucking cheesy. Like, when I hear Danny Elfman, one, I know it's Danny Elfman, and two, I'm just pissed. It ruins whatever I'm watching.
I'm not a Danny Elfman fan either, and I don't look at it like, oh, I'm angry that it's Danny Elfman. I look at it like, my God, they are desperately trying anything to make this movie not piss a single person off. It's like, controversial score? Nope. Director that people don't like? Maybe we had to kill his kid to get rid of him, but he's gone? Check. Reshoots to make it funny? Check. Like, they are banking. I swear to God, Warner Brothers sold whatever soul they had left to the devil, if there is one, to make the Justice League a hit.
Well, I mean, I heard that Joss Whedon is requiring reshoots. Is that true?
I've heard that rumor as well.
Okay. Because if he's I just want to see the amount of fucking hard drives and the amount of hours of footage they have to make this movie, because they have to it's just going to be ridiculous.
I'm almost more intrigued now because it's like a clusterfuck.
Like, I want somebody to do the documentary of the making of Justice League, because that's going to be more entertaining than the fucking movie.
Instead of Hodorowski's Dune, it's Snyder's Justice League or something like that. I'd watch that in a heartbeat.
Oh, dude, yeah, it'd be amazing.
I mean, maybe this is the moment where the DCEU overtakes Marvel. Probably not, but maybe. But maybe it's also the moment where they try everything, it fails, and they're just like, we're gonna finish our tenure and we're gonna bow out of the shared universe.
Here's hoping.
I think shared universes definitely have a finite time, and I think we're nearing that. Because look at The Mummy. The Mummy came out It made $30 million on its opening weekend, and it's going to continually go down and down. And I mean, the only way they can market it is, it's a success worldwide. Well, in America, I guess your second biggest market now, we're tired of shared universes. Not everything works.
Well, I mean, like, I watched The Mummy, and it wasn't, like, I understand why it's bad. I get it. But it was a lot better than fucking, it came on her face at night. I watched it because I watched that movie. I was like, I need something at least fun, and it was fun, but, like, Tom Cruise is trying not to be the guy from Mission Impossible, but he still is.
Oh, he's Ethan Hunt?
Yeah, like, he tries to not be Ethan Hunt, but he ends up being Ethan Hunt anyways. Like, he's trying to be Chris Pratt meets Ethan Hunt, but it doesn't work out.
Just hire Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if Chris Pratt was in that role, I'd believe it and it would work out. But having him in the role, like, honestly, I think he was too big for the role, almost.
You mean size? Because Tom Cruise is...
No, I mean, like,
Oh,
he's too.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, he's too well known, and he's been around way too long. Like, having him in there, it's like, no, should have got somebody, somebody smaller, somebody who's not as well known.
How did Jake Johnson do?
He did okay. There was definitely, like, an American Werewolf in London kind of situation where, like, he died and he kept, like, haunting Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I don't want to see this movie.
My coworker with the big ass said that she went and saw it, and she was pissed because they treated the mummy like it was a zombie, where they tried giving it like a serum in its neck to cure it. Is that true?
Okay, it wasn't a serum. They tied it. Okay, what they did is apparently in this universe, like, okay, the tomb is encased in like a pool of mercury, and apparently mercury is what the ancients thought would stifle the power of any being, even a god. So that's why, like, in the commercial and everything, you'll see it, like, the tomb comes out and it's all, drenched in mercury. Well, what they do is they give her, they tie her to this, they chain her up and they give her mercury in her neck and in her wrist, in her bloodstream to, like, weaken her. This way she can't, like, get out or can't cause any problems and can't, like, do stuff with her mind and shit. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I'm still never going to go see this movie. Maybe if it hits Netflix or some nice Samoan sends us a copy one day.
No,
sure.
and I did like Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because there's a point where he does change. He doesn't like get his injection in time, and he beats the shit out of Tom Cruise, and I really like that. And there was even a point where, like, you see him put his hand on like a fingerprint ID pad, and it says Dr. H. Jekyll, and then when he's Hyde, he puts his hand on it and it says Hyde, and apparently the computer's that intelligent that it knows who it is, instead. And I mean, I really like that whole scene. I think that was really fun, but it's missing so fucking much.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
I mean, I liked it, and I mean, I'm giving it a 5, and that's being really fucking generous. I mean, I had hopes for it, and I know what they're trying to do, and it's just like, there's a different way of doing this. There's a totally different way of doing this.
So it's slightly better than Wonder Woman to you?
Yeah. Like, I would probably rewatch Mummy before I'd rewatch Wonder Woman.
Fair enough. Curtis, did you get to see it yet?
Wonder Woman? No, I don't know. I hate women. No, I just haven't had time, and honestly, superhero fatigue kicked in for me a few movies ago, and I get dragged to it with my wife, but she never even mentioned going to see this one, so I dodged a bullet.
You hear that, women of the world? Even women don't want to see Wonder Woman. I actually offered to take my mom because she liked Linda Carter back in the 70s, and she goes, I'm not really into Wonder Woman, I'll pass. So, I was like, I'll pay, Mom. She's like, no.
Oh, jeez.
So next we got Jessica Chastain. Do you guys know who she is?
Yeah.
Mildly attractive redhead from Interstellar and The Martian. She's supposedly up for the role of Lilandra, the empress of an alien empire called the Shi'ar, who leads the quest to imprison and execute Dark Phoenix in the next X-Men movie. So, I guess
that'll be interesting to see them go to space.
Yeah,
it's the only place. It's the only place they can go. Only place they can go.
Well, a lot of people out there don't know this, but X-Men have always had like a history with outer space, and the only X-Men story that I think I love was the Dark Phoenix saga. So, I'm interested. She's going to have to fall in love with Professor Xavier, though, and she's going to have a big headdress that looks like black hair.
Go ahead.
I hope it works out because like I'm over the X-Men after Logan. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like they killed him off properly. They give him a really good send off. So like I'm out.
Well, they've also confirmed with this announcement that James McAvoy, Jennifer Lawrence, and Michael Fassbender are all returning for their roles. So I thought that Mystique was done. I thought I had heard that Jennifer Lawrence was.
She said that. Yeah. So that's why I do not believe a word when an actor says, "Yeah, I'm done playing this character," because shit like this pops up, and I'll come back. That check cleared.
yeah. Like there's money involved. Of course, you're gonna come back, and you're gonna talk. You're gonna be like, "Yeah, I really," and they talk bullshit about how you love the character and how much it means to you and all that other crap.
Yeah, and because Hugh Jackman said it 3 times that he was done playing Wolverine.
Yeah, and then recently he's like, "Yeah, I want to come back. I love Wolverine." I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah, and then
really.
And then he's like, "Oh well, I'll play Wolverine if it goes back to Marvel Studios." And it's like, okay, so are you done or not? Like, what's the
like at this point, the money is getting paid. He could buy Australia. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, that's because it ain't worth that much. But
Fucking spiders are everywhere.
Yeah, fuck those spiders.
I hate Mystique, and I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. She's not. If you're an X-Men fan, you realize that Mystique's really not that important to the greater scheme of things. And Jennifer Lawrence is not the greatest actress ever. She was bankable for the Hunger Games. I think her time's over. And I'm not saying it as an actress, but I don't like. What was that one that came out with her and Chris Pratt last year?
Passengers,
yeah.
Yeah, like she got paid $20 million for a flop. I don't think she can bank. I don't think her name sells anything anymore. She's just there.
I wouldn't even beat off to her in the Fappening. Like, that's just how far she's fallen.
Damn.
When I did see her photos, I looked at them and went, oh, okay. I mean, she was one of the lower-end celebrities that I was excited
Yeah, she's not like, and I guess that's part of her appeal, is that she's like the every woman, whatever the fuck that means. Like I said, I loved her in American Hustle. That's literally the only thing I really loved her in, was American Hustle.
Dion, would you like me to explain what it means by she's loved by the every woman?
She's fat.
All I was going to say is she's not overly beautiful and she doesn't make people uncomfortable. She's just kind of there.
Right.
She's very plain. She looks like anybody else.
Yeah.
That's why these women champion her, because she doesn't make them... Like, Sofia Vergara is super hot. Jennifer Lawrence is okay looking. She doesn't have either really big boobs or anything that like makes her stand out. She can fit anywhere. She's like a chameleon.
She's a basic bitch.
Too.
A basic
Yeah,
bitch.
exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I should title this episode "Jennifer Lawrence, Basic Bitch."
And then I'll tag it to her Twitter. It'll be fine.
You got to start sending shit out to the celebrity Twitters again, man. You are really helping this shit grow.
Oh god!
Nick and I, after we recorded something, I think he sent it out to about 30 celebrities.
Oh, dude, it was insane, but it worked apparently, so it's fine.
Yeah, the video got 1,000 views in the first couple hours, which was rare for us.
Yeah.
About shit my pants.
So we talked about E3 earlier and how it's kind of ruined the whole news for the week, but something of interest to a lot of fans of this podcast is the announcement for the new Spider-Man game. And that was first talked about back in June of 2016, but now it's confirmed that it's going to release in 2018 as a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and it's going to focus on Miles Morales featuring Peter Parker.
Wait, Miles Morales is the star and Peter Parker's the secondary
According
Spider-Man?
to this liberal-ass website that I'm reading it from.
Well, I think they're wrong, and this isn't me complaining to you, but I watched the 9-minute footage. It's all Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and at the very end, there's a crowd shot of people, and the guy just goes, "Come on, Miles," and he turns around, and that's it. And that was enough to turn me off of the game.
Oh, well, I'm just going off of sentences like this, because there's a bunch of them, but this one in particular goes, it'll launch in 2018 and will feature Miles Morales in addition to Peter Parker. So when I hear, like, in addition to Peter Parker, I take that as, like, oh, and by the way, he's here.
Miles Morales is a garbage character. I'm so tired of them trying to push him.
Yeah, I mean, for their push in video games now, that's going pretty far. I mean, come on, man.
A character has to become popular organically. Deadpool, Gambit, a lot of the early... Cable, those characters in the 90s came out and they were popular organically. Nowadays, it's like, Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and Miles Morales, they're all the forefront of the Marvel publishing lineup. And no one gives a shit and the books aren't selling. Like, I was reading an article this week that said, back in the day, your lowest selling Marvel book was selling 100,000 copies. Now, I understand with the advancements of technology and everything like that obviously the numbers of sales are going to go down because there's greater distractions. But still, if you're turning off guys like me and Joel and people that have read for 20, 30, 40 years, you're doing something wrong. It's not even like, oh, well, times are changing. No, you guys are changing and going in the wrong direction.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that's...
Moving on, James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxies 1 and 2 and the forthcoming number 3, recently said that he's been debating whether or not to break canon. Now, I guess back in the first film, when the Nova Corps was scanning all the Guardians, it had certain key bits of information that the Keen were able to notice. But apparently, he didn't give a lot of details, but he said that he's been struggling with whether or not to retcon that, just for the sake of telling a good story. So, I guess I bring this article up to ask you guys, how do you feel about an interconnected universe giving artistic liberty to directors to kind of intentionally make things that don't coalesce?
That's a bad idea. It's a super bad idea because you're basically taking the thing that got Guardians of the Galaxy to where it is now and shitting on it. That's basically what you're doing.
I agree with Nick. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs to stay on the straight and narrow path because each wave builds to something big.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, just shitting on the first one just because, James Gunn's like, well, I made 2 successful movies, I deserve creative liberty. And the third was like, no, you're part of this universe, you're paid to do a job, do your fucking job.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves anything. What I think James Gunn needs to do is just follow suit, because the Guardians craze is going to die off. There's no more Baby Groot, and people are over the soundtrack. It's kind of like... Yeah,
I mean, I was over the soundtrack after the first movie. I was like, all right, I get it, that's your thing. And they started doing it in the second one real heavily, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care about the soundtrack. That's not, that's not something I really care about. I want a good story, and they delivered with Part 2. Part 2 had an amazing story. Oh, yeah. I just, and I want it to continue. If Part 3 is going to be this your own thing kind of movie, then I'm going to get pissed off and throw shit at the screen, and not give you my money anymore.
Yeah, if they do something retarded with this to appease this director, they're going to piss off a lot of people.
Because the thing is that you can fire him and hire somebody else, so...
And Marvel would do that, too.
Oh, yeah, in a heartbeat, because they have fucking all the money in the world now. They can do it.
Yeah, they're in no way tied to this dude. I mean, my whole thing is, it's... Initially, I don't have a horrible problem with it. I think you just better be careful and as far as timing-wise. Obviously, it's going to be after Infinity Wars. I mean, if everything's done as far as them making a combined universe, and then you want to do it, I guess maybe. But yeah, if you're gonna if you still want Guardians to be part of the, I guess now Infinity War timeline, don't fuck with that. Wait till you're done building this universe before you start running off the rails with it.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna shit the bed after Infinity War hits.
But by that point, it's okay then for me. I mean, if Infinity War is the end of it, then sure, see what you can do with it. But if not, if you want to keep going, don't do it. If you want to keep it part of that universe, don't fucking do it. Be very careful if that's the route you want to go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm starting to fall out of love with Guardians of the Galaxy anyway, so...
I'm with you, man. I always feel like I'm the asshole in the room when I say it, because everyone's so enthusiastic. But then I think about why I'm not excited and why they are, and it's like... I just have different tastes in entertainment. I like something a little deeper.
Yeah, I watched Guardians 2, and I haven't thought about it since. I walked out, I was like, that was a movie... and I moved on with my life, and I don't think that's a good thing, at this point in the game. We should still be pretty fucking pumped up for what's going to come next, and that one just, I could have not seen it and still saw Infinity War and not missed anything.
That is true. That movie is very inconsequential to the grand scheme of things, but I was I did enjoy Yondu so much that I thought about it for maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. And then I don't know. Like, I like something when I first see it, and then I think about it a little more, and I'm like, I'll never need to experience it again.
Yeah, and I mean, like, me as well. Like, I mean, I watched it. It was good. Like, they really did good at the story, and then that was it. Like, next one.
Yep. So, speaking of next ones and threes and all that shit, before Homecoming has even been released, we heard that there was a sequel. And now, still before Homecoming is released, we know for sure that they're doing 3 Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland, in a recent interview with, who was it here? Allocene? Never heard of it. But he came out and he said, yeah, there will be a Spider-Man 2 and 3. And so the publication goes, oh, we knew about the second one, but not the third one. And he goes, well, now you know. Sorry, Marvel. Whoops. That's out.
All right.
I would have said, like, well, Tom, there already is a Spider-Man 2 and 3. Better than what you've made. And then I would follow suit with, and ask Jeff, I mean, you expect it at this point, but they are really, really excited. They're jumping the gun, if you ask my opinion.
Well, I don't think any franchise, barring like a Star Wars or anything like that, should be announcing a trilogy even before the first one comes out. That's retarded.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and apparently, like, that's been the thing for a really long time now, even before the Marvel thing started as trilogies. Like, they would tell a third of the story in the first movie and think that 2 and 3 were guaranteed. It's like, no, tell a complete story in the first one, like I've always fucking said, and then if it hits, then do a part 2 and extend the story and tell more and go more in depth. But don't just think just because you're doing Spider-Man, you're guaranteed like 3 fucking movies, which it looks like they are. So I mean,
dude, all the best sequels come from films that were one complete story. Die Hard. Well, I hate Die Hard too, but my point is, Die Hard had good sequels after the first one. The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars is a complete story. Back to the Future is a complete story. Spider-Man, the first one, is a complete story. I wish they would go back to that mindset.
How about Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Was that a complete story as well, and then they just made 2 and 3?
But yeah, I mean, maybe in the back of his mind, or their minds, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were always like, well, we'll make multiple ones. But when you watch the first Raiders of the Lost Ark movie, well, yeah, it had to be playing out as a complete story because the sequel's technically a prequel.
Oh, okay.
Because Temple of Doom takes place in 35 and Raiders is 36, and Last Crusade is 38.
I never ever knew that. I've never known that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, never. I've never known that.
I like Indiana Jones fighting the Nazis, but at the same time, I don't only need him to fight Nazis. It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, because I mean, there was the Cold War. You could go fight the Russians too.
They did, and there was a 4th Indiana Jones. If you don't know,
you're not allowed to lie on this podcast. Okay, that's the one thing
he fought the commies, bro. It was a complete story, wasn't it?
You're a complete dickhead. I love you. I hate you.
And the last bit of news I got for us is, as of 22 minutes ago, the city of Los Angeles is showing the bat signal in honor of Adam West. Well, I guess not, because they're at West Coast time. So, 9 o'clock their time, they're going to be doing the bat symbol in honor of Adam West. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it.
That's perfectly tied in with our main segment tonight, but I think, yeah, it's a nice tribute. I feel like here in Cincinnati, when Princess Leia died, they put up a billboard of her face. I've never seen that for a celebrity. Like, David Bowie died, Prince, all these other people that people were crying over. They, rest in peace, they mentioned them on TV, that kind of shit. Princess Leia got a fucking billboard on a major highway here. I was pretty surprised. I was like, holy shit, that's cool. So the bat signal is probably the coolest way to, remember him.
Yeah.
I wish I was there to see it. That'd be phenomenal on so many levels. Like, we all like Batman, and to see something from the movies and TV show and comics in real life, and not a cosplayer, that'd be amazing.
Well, it's weird that they get away with it, and I bring that up because I remember specifically a few years back, there was a little kid that died, and they made a custom tombstone for him with the Superman logo on it, and they had to remove it because DC was all about keeping that copyright.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was fucked up. I remember vividly from a few years ago. So I'm surprised that DC is letting them use the fucking bat symbol if they wouldn't let a little dying kid use the Superman logo on his tombstone.
That's really shitty. That is super shitty.
DC's probably using this to sell more DVDs. They're like, oh, he's dead. Let's pump out some Batman merchandise this week.
Yeah, let's put Batman the old series on special or whatever.
Well, they've jacked up the price of Batman the Adam West series on Blu-ray. Before he died, the series kept dropping in price, so it was like $70, and now it's up to $122.
Nope, I'll wait another year. It's fine. I'll buy when it's like 70 or 60.
Plus, it's a better way to honor his memory than wait until it goes on sale.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking cheapskate. So.
Well, I actually think it's on Hulu, isn't it?
No, don't tell me
the
that.
movie was on Netflix. I don't know about this.
Yeah, there's one of them that's on Hulu or Netflix. Cause I've seen the series on there.
Oh, you know what?
Well,
yeah, right.
They released a new box set, and it's only $50. I might have to buy this because I wanted to buy the other one, but it was $199, and it was just too expensive.
Well, I mean, what was the point of it? Like, why was it so expensive?
It came with a set of trading cards and a car and something else.
Okay,
yeah, it was like $220 at Best Buy here in Michigan.
Okay, so nothing really of significance. Like, I just want the show. I could care fuck all about cards and a little car. Like, just give me the show. That's all I want.
You can find that for $39.
That sounds good.
Okay, let's get into the main topic right now because we're talking about Batman. So let's just make it official. So obviously, as Curtis Lindenfield has just said to you, Adam West died. I think he died Friday?
I think so.
Because we didn't talk about it on last week's show, right?
No, it was definitely after the show. I thought it was Sunday, but I think it could be Friday.
No, it was Friday. It was the 9th.
Okay.
Okay.
So we wouldn't miss something like Adam West's death because we're all Batman fans. So I got a couple questions for you guys when we get to it. But to many people, Adam West was Batman for such a long time. Like somebody like my mom, she was, that show came out in 1966, so she would have been 7 years old when that show debuted. So from the age of 7 to 30, that was the only Batman that existed in live action. So when I told her Adam West died, she goes, "My Batman?" Like, she was taken aback for a minute. And I was like, well, he's 88, he had leukemia and all this stuff. She's like, well, still, Batman died. Much like when I said James Bond died when Roger Moore died. So it's funny how these characters have such a strong impact on people's lives. And I've seen all these tributes to Adam West the past week, and I gotta give him credit. Everyone's been really good. Like, I've never seen any hokey ones that made me laugh. They were all respectful and well done. I think a lot of people praise these characters or these actors after they die. Like, oh, you were so great and all this and that. But I think most people loved Adam West in life. It wasn't like this huge upswelling of people that weren't there before. It was just the people that liked him. So,
well, not only that, but he was such a likable dude. I mean, anything I ever read on him was how he was hilarious. I mean, and then even after, the character moved on, he was in the animated series. Obviously, he was on Family Guy. He was very nice whenever he'd go to a con or to a meet and greet or whatever the fuck. And he was a genuinely likable dude. I know he did a lot for charity and shit too, I think. But, it's a lot different than, say, Prince, who, kind of was a dick. Adam West everyone fucking liked him, So, I think that definitely plays a role, specifically when you get to be so fucking old and, and then you finally move on and, people remember that shit.
I saw Adam West in person once.
Nice.
Yeah, I did too. I had him sign a poster for me.
Oh, I didn't pay for it. I just saw him, and I was like, oh, there's Batman. And then I thought, $100 is not worth it. So I don't regret not getting his autograph.
Well, yeah, it was a Dragon Con. I think it was $100 for him and Burt Ward. So I was like, yeah, why not? And the only stipulation he had is that, I have to personalize it, for reasons. I'm like, that's fine. It's Adam West. It's all good. So he wrote, to Nick, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Adam West.
If I would have got an autograph from him, I'm like, you can sign it to me with whatever you want to say on it. Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Because I would never sell an autographed anything. I would keep it for me.
Yeah. Right. And I love that poster, and I have it hung up in my house and everything. Like, it's amazing.
I saw a headline today that made reference to an interview where he said that while filming an episode of Batman, he had sex with 8 women simultaneously, and that made me
I've
like
heard
him.
that story before.
Well, apparently, film sets back in the '60s were really, were really awesome.
Would you like to hear another story like that, Curtis?
Absolutely.
So there is a James Bond film called On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's the one that stars George Lazenby, the one that no one remembers. And he released a documentary. It's on Hulu. You should watch it. It's called Becoming Bond. And he talks about how he slept with every woman in that movie. That's one of the main actresses.
So he's like a male Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, well, the thing is, this dude used to be a big male model in Australia and England. And then he moved into movies, and he basically carried that
Jesus Christ.
persona over into it. So he was fucking...
George Lazenby's awesome. Like, he was a male model. He got James Bond. Fucked every girl on set. He has more money than all actors who play James Bond combined. Like, he's just the fucking man.
Yeah, talk about an awesome life.
Yeah, like he's just with it.
Why did they just have him be the most interesting man in the world? What the fuck?
True. No, I'd be entirely fine with that. You could.
He has one of the fucking coolest stunts in all the Bond movies. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Which one are you considering the coolest?
The parachute off of the on the side of the mountain, where it has
That's not him.
the English flag or whatever.
That's Roger Moore.
Was that Roger Moore? Damn, I thought that was...
Yeah, that's The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh,
And the stuntman's name is Rick Sylvester.
I thought it was on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Gotcha.
So I'm looking
No,
at a headline
Majesty's
here that says, because he was such a big part of Family Guy, that this Sunday's episode is going to be dedicated to him. And they're going to do a special honoring of him. So I haven't checked out...
They need to write him out of the show.
What's that?
They need to write him out of the show.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they're going to do this episode. I haven't checked out like a new Family Guy episode live in forever, but maybe I'll tune in. I don't know. I'm a bandwagoner.
I haven't picked up or I haven't watched an episode of Family Guy. Probably. When did I live with you, Dion? 2010, so 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in 7 years.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, the show's shit.
Yep.
I know a lot of people get upset. Oh, how do you not like Family Guy? I just don't. Like, I've heard that joke 12 times before.
Yeah.
That's a discussion for another episode. We'll definitely do like a Family Guy. Maybe we'll do a Family Guy, Simpsons, King of the Hill. We'll bring back the debate. We'll each pick an adult animated series, and we'll pitch why we think it's better than the other ones. Listeners, if that sounds interesting to you, let us know. It'll be something different besides the usual, hey, DC's doing something stupid, Marvel's starting to do dumb shit. Like, it'd be a nice, fresh change of pace.
Oh, definitely.
Now, back to Adam West, though. I do have a couple questions for you guys. So we'll do this as I'm looking on the screen. So it's Dion. We'll do Dion, Nick, and then Curtis Lindenfield, because I always like to end out with him. Where does Adam West rank for you as favorite Batman?
Ooh. You know what? I think I'd have to go... you know what? I'd go Keaton Kilmer. I think I have to go 3. I mean, I really like... Because he was so fucking campy. Those episodes were so ridiculous. But he was still, like, charismatic at the same time. I mean, he looked so fucking goofy in that costume. But he fucking sold it. I mean, the dude was... Like, I know we try not to bring up too much professional wrestling, but that he is what you want in someone to sell a character. I fucking love that campy motherfucker in his fucking silk underpants over that goddamn gray suit.
I watched a clip today where he was doing a Batusi, and he was like getting down into this dance hardcore, and then as the other guys were getting to it, he like punches him in the face, and he's like, I beat your trick of mind control by reciting the multiplication tables backwards, or something like that.
It's just like,
I couldn't stop laughing.
Or the episode where the fucking the Riddler tricks, like he tricks Batman into thinking that he stole something when like he tries to get Batman arrested by the cops, and so he chases him down like to the hallway. And he hits him, and he goes, I didn't do anything. And then the mayor was like, no, Batman, no, he was the one that blah, 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 blah. And then the look on Batman's face, like, I fucked up. Like you said, that silly-ass look with that silly fucking mask. And he's just like, ugh. And he quarter turns towards the camera. I'm just like, God damn, this is more funnier than they thought it was going to be.
Nick, where do you rank him?
I rank him as number 1 because as a kid, he used to be on, like, I think it was Nick at Night or whatever. They used to have the episodes on. And that was my first my first forte into Batman. I was like, this is the guy. And I always watched the beginning of him and Burt Ward, getting on the little bat bike and going to the Batcopter, and like they'd split off into both sides and get into the thing and take off and go save the city and stuff. And that's where I put him, and that's where my introduction was with Batman was that. And then I learned as a kid, it's like, oh, there's going to be a movie. There's going to be a movie of him coming out, in '89. I was like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. So. And I watched that, and I loved that, too, and that was my whole introduction to that character.
I became obsessed with Adam West Batman. So you and I are only 3 years apart. So Batman '89, I was like 6 months old. So that wasn't really a thing as a child. But I had... One of the earliest things I always remember owning was that movie on tape. I don't know why my mom bought it for me when I was like 2 years old, but I've always had a copy of Batman '89.
Yeah, and the tape is real simple. It's a black tape with like the gold symbol on it. That's all it is.
That was the first movie to come out so fast after theatrical release. Like that, a lot of people don't really give that movie credit, but it's like, what's the word? The progenitor of the modern way we market a film, the modern blockbuster.
Yeah.
Batman came out in June. It was on video for Christmas. They had toys on the shelf by this date. They had the food tie-ins. They had this. They had that. Star Wars had all that stuff, but much later because it was new to that. But Batman was the first one to have it day and point. It took Star Wars years to come out on tape. Each one. They didn't come out, that Christmas. They came out 84, 85. There's so many different releases, but Batman was out for that holiday season. And I'll never forget the fucking Diet Coke commercial. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I remember the credit card commercial at some point. Like I think there was like a MasterCard one or something, right?
I don't remember that. I only remember on the videotape there was only two commercials. The Diet Coke and the one for the Warner Brothers catalog.
Oh God, the Warner Brothers catalog, Jesus.
With Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and you could get a Batman tie. I remember they painted a Batman necktie and hat and poster into the scene. I was like,
yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember those things. They used to do that a lot. Oh shit.
Well, the only reason I brought up the Batman '89 is because that was what I had watched so much, that in the animated series. And then maybe when I was about 5 years old, I went to the video store, and I rented Batman the movie from 66, or maybe 67, whenever
66, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this movie's crazy. And then my mom came in, and she's like, this was my Batman. So then we started talking about Batman, and then years later on FX, I would watch reruns. And even to this day, if I ever catch that show on TV, I stop what I'm doing to watch Batman.
Same here. Yeah, it's crazy, it's wild, it's colorful, it's insane, it's campy. I fucking love it. Like that to me is like that's a show I watch on a Sunday. Like that's my Sunday watch. Is like I'm gonna sit on the couch, watch some old school Batman.
It's got a badass car and a badass theme song.
Oh yeah.
Curtis, where do you rank Adam West's Batman for you?
Dead last.
Damn.
Yeah, no, his acting was too stiff.
Jeez.
No, in all honesty, he's my least favorite. I don't like campy stuff, and because the very first comics I ever experienced were like early '90s Batman, when like it was dark and fucking he's getting his back broken by Bane and all this other like heavy shit. And so when my aunt, who showed me a bunch of cool shit, Indiana Jones, Star Wars and stuff, used to watch that, I used to hate it just because of how fucking cheesy it was. So, all jokes aside, yeah, last.
For me, he's probably number 4. Like, I like him more than I like Ben Affleck. I like him more than I like George Clooney for sure. I'm torn. Is he better? Like, my favorite, if we don't include Kevin Conroy, maybe he's up another spot, but if we include Kevin Conroy, then Kevin Conroy's like my Batman. Yeah, he just did the voice, but he brought a lot to the character. I like Michael Keaton. And I think I like Christian Bale more than I like Adam West, because I watched Batman Begins this morning before I had to get some stuff done. Like, that's my movie. But I'll give Adam West all the credit. If I'm not including it, he's 3. Talk about animated series, but if I am, he's 4. So I like him. I like the show. I think it had a great representation of a lot of the villains. I thought Cesar Romero's Joker was fun. The Riddler was great. I think the best Catwoman comes from that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's an episode where she's talking to Batman about like hooking up, and he says something about Robin. She's like, "Robin, can't we kill him?" And it just makes me laugh every time. I'm like, why not leave Robin? Robin sucks.
Yeah, even Vincent Price was like, what is it? Some egg villain, or I forget.
Egghead.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that episode, and he kept saying, like, the word egg was in everything he would say, and it was just hilarious to me as a kid. I was like, Jesus, he's really trying.
The show definitely is a product of its time.
Oh God, yes.
But it's nice to see. It's nice to look back on it because you can see how Batman could translate through the eras. Like you had the cartoon. You didn't have a Batman cartoon prior to that show. The first Batman appearance on TV was that show. Then there was a cartoon in the 70s after Super Friends, if you want to count Super Friends as his first animated appearance, fine. And then you basically had Batman exist on Super Friend episodes and reruns for almost 30 years, you know? And by the time Michael Keaton rolled around, we had a whole new era of Batman. But
well, yeah, and it was funny because I remember watching something about Michael Keaton talk about that, and he got shit on real hard because everyone didn't think that he would make a good Batman.
Yeah, they had to release the trailer pretty early because everyone was losing their shit when they were announced that he was Batman.
Yeah, and I know a lot of our listeners, might not be old enough, but people actually found out the address of the production company and mailed them letters as to why Michael Keaton is not a good Batman.
Because he was only known as a comedic actor at that time.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mom.
Yeah. But like, just think about that nowadays. Like nowadays, you can tweet, Facebook, and God knows whatever to whatever company you want. People actually like took time out of their day, hand wrote a letter, fucking found out the mailing address of the company somehow, and then like put a stamp on it, went to the post office, and put it in the fucking box. Like they made fucking effort to be like, no, not him.
They paid money to bitch.
Yeah, basically.
I'm glad they didn't listen to the fans because Michael Keaton. Yes, he did hide behind a rubber suit, and yes, stunt doubles did a lot of cool stuff, but he still brought a lot to that movie. Jack Nicholson, I think, is the breakout star, but either way, I love Batman 89.
Oh, yeah.
That movie's so good. Now, have you all seen the Batman 66 film?
Yep.
Oh, a long time ago when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think
dude.
that's when I watched it.
Curtis?
Yeah, that was one of the things my aunt would have on the TV.
I liked the movie as a kid. I've tried to go back and watch it as an adult. The movie doesn't hold up because it's just too dumb. Like, the guys get dehydrated and they turn to powder.
Yeah, and
then they throw water on
Yeah,
them.
the powder's all like different colors and stuff, and it's all in their chairs or something, and they have to vacuum it up. It's weird.
They jumped the gun, but what surprises me the most about that show is it was only on for 3 seasons. And the impact it had is phenomenal. I can't think of another show that, maybe like a Twin Peaks that was on for 2 years but had this, huge following for 20 years. Maybe it was 25 years.
I'd say original Star Trek, maybe.
How about I say Star Trek's probably the only other thing at that time.
Yeah.
That was only 3 seasons long and became, was hugely followed.
How many series was that queer-ass Firefly show?
One.
Ugh.
I hate that show, even though I've never watched it.
Hey, Joss Whedon doing his best Joss Whedon.
We're going to get some good Joss Whedon in the fall, man. What are we, 5 months and change from the Justice League. Now,
who's he going to
imagine
randomly
a Justice League. Who are they going to randomly kill? Come on, Cyborg.
No, not the black guy.
He's not even a black guy anymore. He's a black head on a robotic body. It's not racist. It's robotists.
It's cybernetics, goddammit.
Yeah. I do like how they brought back Miles Bennett Dyson. Like, there's one black guy in the world that can play a scientist that makes a robot, and it's this guy.
I didn't even think of that. Holy shit, you're right.
I don't know if I can hold on to this any longer.
Oh, God.
These guys got it.
When you guys started doing that, I imagined his face, and then in my mind, it panned out to him sitting next to that desk. He's like,
I just remember when we would have those movie nights at my apartment, and we were watching Terminator 2 because I had that the director's edition, special director's edition or whatever, where they add like the extra 10 minutes, and they got to that part, and just almost in unison, the three of us were just like, and then Dustin, of course, goes, I don't know how long I can hold on to this. That's one of my fondest memories of Terminator 2. Just like right away, everyone's like, we all laugh at this part when we see it.
It's so overly dramatic.
It is, but there's the idea. It's like he's dying and
Well, it's still the saddest part of the movie because the dude met them like 3 hours before.
That is not the saddest part of the movie. Be honest with yourself. Well, not the saddest,
but for me,
what's the saddest part of the movie?
When Terminator dies.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Thank you. That moment right there.
He's like, shit. I'm making shit at my home. My kid's got his remote control car. Then this skinny white chick just fucking shot me. What the fuck? And then I get.
I don't think many people were watching that scene and going like, "Oh, it's so terrible." I mean, I watch it and go, "Linda." I almost called her Linda Carter. Sorry, Linda Hamilton's a crazy bitch. But the only part that can make you genuinely sad in any Arnold movie is the thumbs up into the lava. That's like the best part of that whole movie.
It is. I agree, but I'm just saying it's still pretty goddamn sad. Don't shoot my daddy. It's like she already shot me, son. I'm fucking dying. I'm gonna die in 2 hours.
You know what I realize though every time I watch that movie?
Huh.
Sarah Connor's a whore.
He's really, well, yeah. When the fucking John literally said she just would shack up with whoever she could. I was like, God, no wonder he's fucked up. No wonder Nick Stahl plays him in the goddamn next movie. He saw his mom fucking getting railed by a bunch of fucking.
Every Mexican dude, this side of the border. Uncle Paco, Uncle Luis, Uncle Jorge, like,
oh my god,
Uncle Eddie, all of them. Like, that's how she got all those weapons. Like, she sucked dick for a machine gun.
That's how she learned. Yeah,
I never thought of it that way. Fuck.
She'd shack up with anyone that would teach her something. It's like, God damn, Linda. What
does she have as a character? Well, she was 19 years old when the Terminator appeared, and then she instantly goes on the run at the end of the movie. So, what do you know at 19? Not much. And she worked at like a big boy, so she wasn't that smart. Like, maybe she could have hawked her scooter and got a few bucks and paid for like some shooting courses, but other than that,
she did the smart thing. She sucked dick to get ahead.
Yeah. The things you do to save our time, what was it?
Timeline?
Not time. Timeline, thank you. I almost said time flux.
That was a struggle for that one. I had to save you. I had to give you a lifeline.
I was like, time flux.
What the fuck you call it, time? Oh, God damn it.
Time vortex.
Timeline or time. Thank you, Sarah Connor.
Linda sucking dick just threw me off.
Well, the dick she was sucking was James Cameron.
Right? Hopefully it wasn't her sister, too.
Oh, come on, that would be so awesome to do two sisters at the same
I know, but could you imagine two twins? See, that might make it even better. Two twin sisters, huh?
I would just call them the same name.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen from season 3.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that got dark. So speaking of dark, our Dark Knight died, Adam West. I don't really know what else to say about him besides, I think the best Adam West moment of his career for me doesn't come from Batman, but it comes from, that show, but it comes from Batman the Animated Series when he plays the Grey Ghost.
Yep.
When Batman's like, "You were my inspiration," and blah, blah, blah. I was like, what a cool meta moment. TV shows don't have stories anymore, and if they did, they wouldn't put something out that's so impactful. Beware the Grey Ghost is an amazing episode, and if you watch it and you don't take into account Adam West's resurgence with Family Guy, but if you watch that as a, I don't know, it's like a great parallel to his actual career.
No, I agree. I mean, that's a good point.
All right, so rest in peace, Adam West. We love you as Batman, and I don't know, maybe you could fight the Joker and every other villain in the Batcave in the sky. I don't know. I'm not overly
easy. Don't be getting melodramatic over here, motherfucker.
Oh, but that's what people want to hear.
I liked him a lot in Family Guy. I know I didn't like him as Batman, but in Family Guy, he was one of my favorite side characters.
Adam Wee?
I wanted to point that out. Yeah.
He was great. I mean, that's what set Family Guy apart for me in the beginning was, oh my god, Adam West is actually the mayor.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's do the newest segment of the show, the Patreon question. So, this one comes from last week's member, Justin Beck. He wants to know, what is the best licensed video game, barring GoldenEye?
Ooh, Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Wait, really?
I liked it a lot. What do you want from me?
Wait, Ghostbusters Answer the Call is the name of the 2016 film.
Okay, sorry. All right, the Ghostbusters game that came out before that was actually better than the whole fucking movie.
So Ghostbusters, the game, 2009.
Thank you for saving me from that.
Dion?
You care to explain why?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Man, I think I'd have to go. Shit, I think I'd have to go with Spider-Man 2. I just loved, the whole open world thing was amazing. Bruce Campbell doing the narration. I mean, it was a phenomenal game. I'd have to say, yeah, I love the shit out of that game.
Curtis Lindenfield.
Enter the Matrix for the PS2.
Choice.
You got to play Neo and other characters, and you got to do like superhero shit, and just the graphics were amazing at the time.
Are you thinking Path of Neo
levels? Enter the Matrix.
Because you don't play as Neo in Enter the Matrix.
Whatever. You get to do Neo-like stuff. You get to fly, you get to shoot, you get to soul. The bullet time physics were amazing. I remember one level in particular was the only level that you could kill an agent on, and it was a glitch. Just a lot of good memories with it, and I'd never played a game like it, and I've never played a game like it since. So
I'm gonna cheat because this is technically a licensed video game, and I love it. WWF No Mercy. That's a licensed video game. They had to license it from the WWF. So I'm gonna give you a different one instead of saying like, I don't know, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. No, WWF No Mercy is arguably the best wrestling game ever made. If you play it nowadays, the controls still hold up incredibly well. You can play it on an emulator where they up-res the graphics.
Nice.
It had a great roster. I remember as a kid, I got WrestleMania 2000, and I hated it because it was so dated, so I actually returned it to the store after I bootleg rewrapped it. They took it back at Toys R Us. So I'd like to imagine some kid got my used copy from Toys R Us. No, but I remember the wait for No Mercy was crazy because I had been watching wrestling all year, and I heard that there was another game coming out, and I would get like little snippets on the internet, like there was a screenshot here or a little video clip. And when it came out, you can't imagine imagine you have hype for a game, and it's like an 11 out of 10. You can't imagine how excited you are. It's going to be the greatest thing ever, and then you get it, and it really is that great. There's like the biggest payoff for me in a video game, or to receive a video game in such a long time. And I love it. I can't think of anyone that hates No Mercy, unless they're just full of shit.
Here's a licensed series that I think is vastly overrated, and that's the Batman Arkham series. I've played it some, I've watched other people play it, and it's just one of those, I don't know, almost like a quick time event type button system, and it's annoying and slow paced, and I don't see what the fucking hype is. The newest one, my friend, hey, you got to drive the Batmobile, and so I try to run people over because that's how I play video games, and it wouldn't kill them, and I was very confused why a giant ass Batmobile hurtling down a street hitting somebody doesn't kill them.
Yeah, I mean, I played a couple of those and they're okay. I mean, they're really no big deal to me.
I enjoy the three main ones, but not Arkham Origins. No, thank you. Now, Nick, I think the same summer as Ghostbusters, that Arkham Asylum came out. So we're talking the same 2 or 3 month period, and I bought them both when they were new. That was a great summer for video games.
Yeah.
So those two games alone carried me for months. I like Arkham City, and I loved Arkham Knight. I know people didn't like the Batmobile, but the reason I was okay with it is because I knew once I got so far with it that I could play as the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
Nice.
So if I turn on my game now, I got my Michael Keaton costume, and when I call for the Batmobile, the Michael Keaton Batmobile appears. So basically, it's like 5-year-old Jeff's fantasy of being the Michael Keaton Batman with Kevin Conroy's voice. You couldn't do it any better. Like that's the perfect
awesome.
Batman for
That's
me.
amazing.
Because I swear by that suit to this day. The Michael Keaton suit looks the best on film. Maybe in person it looks stupid, but on film they're able to hide some of the flaws in the way it's designed. And yeah, he couldn't turn his neck, but I didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking suits, I mean, I think the Dark Knight Rises, that series, I loved the suit from those movies. Because it was very tactical and looked like, it was...
Yeah, that's what I would play as in Arkham Knight, I'd play as the Nolan Batman with the tumbler. So, that one's my favorite on film as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Dion, you
I paid for that
played
one.
Sick of Truth a lot, right?
Not a lot, no, but we played a little bit of it.
What'd you think of that one?
Sick of Truth?
Yeah.
I'm not the hugest South Park fan, but
Okay.
I found myself laughing at it. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of, I guess, critical of South Park. I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, I had a good time playing it. It was pretty good.
What are your guys' least favorite licensed games? I already said mine. The Batman series. I think they're
Fucking
shit.
Iron Man 2. Fuck that game.
You love that game, dude. Don't lie to us.
Yeah, but it made me really angry. It was.
I had to hide that game from you so you'd stop playing it.
And I
listeners,
was like,
that's not a
yeah,
joke.
it's probably for the best.
I really love the movie Fifth Element, so I got the game for it, and I was just miserable. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit. It's a shitty-ass game.
Oh, for me, it's probably either Die Hard Trilogy for the original PlayStation, because that game was garbage. The only cool thing, and Curtis, you would have loved this, you could drive the taxi cab down New York City streets, and you could hit people, and they would splatter on your windshield, and then you would wipe them off with the windshield wiper.
That's amazing.
Imagine that with PS1 graphics. What was a terrible licensed game? Oh. There were some bad Batman games outside of the Arkham ones, like Batman Forever for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was a terrible game.
Oh, okay.
I remember Quantum of Solace was pretty bad too. Oh,
Yep.
that game was so fucking generic, and like literally, I purposely beat it so I could return it and get money for it.
Fucking Super Star Wars is the hardest goddamn game I ever played. I hate that game. I've never
Which
beat it
one?
to this day.
Just the first one?
First one. It was bullshit.
The first one is the hardest. I beat Return of the Jedi. It took me an entire year to beat Return of the Jedi. And I really remember that because it was the last game I ever played for the Super Nintendo while it was my current console. Because I got it for when I had a first communion in '97. I got that game as a gift, and then by '98 I finally beat it because that game was hard, and they had these things called Mode 7 levels where it was like a first-person shooter type of thing, but you were flying the ships, and you had to fly through the Death Star core. And then shoot down the main reactor, and then loop around and fly out with fire chasing you. It was so hard, but I vividly remember as soon as I made it out and I escaped and won, I was like, "Oh my god, the game's over! That was crazy." But that was so hard. There are a lot. I think there are so there's an Aquaman game for the original Xbox that I have played. That is terrible. Batman Dark Tomorrow is another terrible video game. WWE WrestleMania 19 is pretty bad.
Warzone's pretty shitty too.
Warzone's shit. If anyone tries to tell you it's a good game, they're wrong.
The only thing is that you could create a wrestler pretty easily in that. They would just copy the moveset of another one. But
I remember some of the sound effects for that. It'd be, yep. Better watch your back, Sonny.
I did love how they had the Rock's real voice in that game. And they were allowed to cuss in that game, too.
Yep. In those crazy fucking vignettes when you were playing story mode or whatever. And Ahmed Johnson was randomly, really high up on the fucking story. I forgot to take my medicine, so I'm really in a bad mood. I'm like, okay. Am I supposed to be my dad gets to take his medicine, but I'm not going to get my shit pushed in.
Terminator... Which was the Terminator game for the PlayStation 2?
Oh, not Rise. Well, they had Rise of the Machines, and there was one other one. What was the name of that other one?
My neighbor had it, and I did not enjoy it.
That game was really fucking stupid. I remember for Rise of the Machines, they had a trailer for it on the DVD of the movie, and you could just tell that no one who was talking about the game had played it. They had fucking Christiana Loken. It's not like a kung fu game. You just hit each other. But I'm like, bitch, you've never played a video game in your fucking life.
No. Well, now she has. Have you seen her lately?
No.
She's just hanging out at home playing video games, being not famous anymore.
What happened to her? Did she join Scientology?
She got fat.
Oh, really?
Wasn't she in those UA Bull movies? She was in a couple of.
Probably.
Because wasn't she Blood Rain?
Yeah. She was Blood Rain for
Yeah, but that was 2004, right?
Yeah, and that's what kills careers in the early thousands is shitty movies like that.
Have you ever gone back and tried to look at a lot of the movies that came out when we were in late grade school?
Yeah, man,
school?
it's fucking difficult, dude. It's obviously Daredevil was a personal one for me You know, and there, people always, the director's cut makes it a better movie. I'm like, that's a further testament of how bad it is. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Blood Rain came out in 05.
Like, listen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha. But
that was still a dark period. Like, trying to go back and... Like, when Fantastic Four was the highlight of my year in theaters. Well, no, I take that back. I saw episode 3. But when those movies were, like, the highlight of your year, you're like, Jesus Christ. And the shit that was popular back then has not held up. Like, I can't remember going to the theater in 2006 except to see Casino Royale. And that, to me, is one of the most poorly aging James Bond films ever. Because it was right on the cusp of modern technology, and it stuck right in that period of bulky laptops, non-smartphones, shitty Sony Vaio desktops that I happen to have in my room. It's just a really weird period for fashion and cars and everything.
Well, and the thing that pissed me off about that movie is that, like, he drove a Ford. I was like, he's driving a Ford. What the fuck happened to his Aston Martin?
Yeah, they really ruined the character of James Bond with Daniel Craig. Hopefully, either the Broccoli family stops making movies or they both die, and somebody like me takes over. And I'm like, my main goal is to make James Bond the coolest character ever.
And I know there was a Casino Royale that came out in the 60s, right? That was like a comedy or something?
Yeah, I hate it.
Gotcha.
So back in... Sorry.
Good.
Oh, I didn't want to distract from you. I thought your conversation was over. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the rights holders to the main James Bond series and the Casino Royale weren't the same people, so that's why they made it so stupid.
Gotcha.
I was thinking back in 2006 or 7, it was right when Civil War came out in the comics. They released Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. Mm-hmm. And I remember playing that at the time thinking it was one of the best goddamn games I ever played, and I just tried playing it again here like last month, and it's trash, and I don't know what I was thinking. Do you guys ever play that game?
I played the shit out of the game. I still love the first Ultimate Alliance.
I have it for the Wii.
Ew.
I stole it from Eddie Cable.
Oh, yeah, I never played it.
Don't. It's just, like, you can play better games on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't age very well at all, but especially because it's like fucking, Thor looks like shit in that game, but I still love it. Plus, I just put in the cheat code to get Daredevil.
There was you know what, real quick, there was a great licensed Indiana Jones game that came out when we were in high school called Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
That game is so underrated. Like, if we ever did an episode or we ever had a discussion on underrated video games, that would be at the top of my list. Nobody really played it, but that was a prequel to Temple of Doom. It takes place literally moments before Temple of Doom. It was phenomenal. Because I'm looking at my shelf trying to pick up licensed things that I know have games, and I see Indiana Jones on VHS, and I'm like, Indiana Jones has some
Well, there was also the really shitty Back to the Future 3 game that came out for Sega that was just horrible.
Every Back to the Future game, with the exception of the newest one, is shit.
Yeah.
Because there's one for parts 1, 2, and 3, and they all suck.
Jeez.
Every version. Like, Back to the Future 1 for the NES is probably the worst licensed NES game.
Damn.
Yeah.
Talking
I
about
used to
underrated.
love the Terminator game, the little side scroller.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, shit.
It was bitchin'.
Oh, dude, I fucking
One
love
for
that.
Game Boy?
No, it was like a Nintendo. Maybe it was on Game Boy as well, but
There was a Game Boy one. I don't know if it was the same story, but I remember the Game Boy. I don't remember the Nintendo one.
there's Super Nintendo.
Did you guys ever play Terminator versus RoboCop?
Yeah.
I did.
Nope.
But that was a cream dream for little Dion. Obviously, it was a game, but my two of my favorite things of all time fighting each other, because I was really into like this character against this character back then, and that was one. And I think my sister's friend's brother had it, and whenever we went over there, because I fucking hated that kid, and the only reason I'd ever go over there was to play that game and some shitty mouse game on his Nintendo. But
Who do you like more?
RoboCop for sure.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, RoboCop lived to fight another day. The Terminator killed himself.
I also think that was part of his like programming as well. Like once he's done with his mission, he's supposed to like kill himself and not leave a trace.
Well, I'm just joking. I prefer the Terminator.
Well, they can't self-terminate, Nick, you piece of
Anyone
shit.
with taste prefers Terminator over RoboCop.
Oh, that sure as shit ain't true. Because RoboCop, dead or alive, you're going with him.
That is a shitty joke that belongs on Screen Junkies.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I am not ashamed. I refuse to feel ashamed. Talk about underrated one was it came out when X-Men 2 came out was Wolverine's Revenge. I loved that game.
All right, Dion, who was the voice of Wolverine?
Mark motherfucking Hamill.
That's amazing.
There you go.
And he was phenomenal.
That's amazing.
It was great. Like, you would actually fucking kill dudes, and he'd have the combos where, he'd fucking, like, if he was fighting 3 dudes or 2 dudes at a time or 4 dudes at a time, they all had different combos depending on where you were positioned and where they were in position in Logan. I mean, you had the fucking animal senses, like the heat vision, and you could track dudes. I fucking love that game. The only thing was the Juggernaut fight was fucking bullshit. It was hard as shit. But that's the only downfall of that game. It was awesome. You get to fight Sabretooth twice. Jesus.
I liked the Wolverine game for the Xbox 360 that came out after the movie X-Men Origins.
Yeah, I never played that one.
It was really great. It was really bloody. Like, when you would swipe at a guy, his arm would fall off.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, we got another question. This one comes from Kendo Slice.
Thank you, Justin B, by the way.
Yes, thank you. And, Kendo, send in some more questions because since you're a $25 patron, a pretty big deal according to yourself, you get a question every week. So, there you go. Also, I'll see you on Ring Rust this week. Just shoot me a message. But your question is, name a character that ruined or brought down the quality of a movie, as in the movie would have been good, but was wrecked by an unnecessary or terrible character.
Dion Green, the World Class Bullshitters film.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
If we ever do get to turn this into like a multimedia project, Dion, I have an idea for an episode of the World Class Bullshitter show.
Do we walk in on Cuck and watch porn again? Or?
No, what it is, this will only entertain you and me, so maybe we'll just film it and watch it ourselves. Basically what it is it's a 30-minute shot-for-shot remake of Beverly Hills Cop, where you play Axel Foley and I play Mikey Tandino, but I also play every other character in the film, and then I'm also Victor Maitland. So at the end, when you shoot me, you realize that I was alive the whole time hiding, and you killed me, your best friend, and then it just happens. So that's an episode of the show for us.
It'd be a bigger cult classic than motherfucking Donnie Briscoe.
I wouldn't get that so bad now.
Like, you gotta be Axel Foley, because you're black.
Right, yeah,
Still,
I'm the closest between the two
Tandino.
of us. Mm-hmm. Plus, it would just be hilarious to see you dress up as fucking Rose, Billy Rosewood. I would love to just see you in a super tight-ass suit, just be like, after you.
I'll be Rosewood, I'll be Taggart, I'll be Bogomil, I'll be the old chief, I'll be Serge, everybody.
We're gonna need a green screen, a lot of patience.
You are Jenny Summers too. You have to be with a fucking
I'll do it.
Wig. And I just would love to see you in some tight ass little dress and just be like, no, Beverly Hills. We just take it in the car. We walk up to. I'd be like, Jenny.
I've seen your car. Oh shit, that's cold. Like, you would have to play it off so serious, like you're really Axel Foley looking for me, and the whole time I'm like, I hope he doesn't realize it's not, really Jenny, it's really his friend Mikey in disguise.
I just want to see you holding you at gunpoint. Careful, old boy, you might hit me. And it's like, it is you, goddammit!
No, after you shoot me dead, I'll just sit there on the floor instead of rolling down the stairs, I'll go, Axel! It was me, your best friend Mikey all along, and I pull off a bald cap, and you're like, Mikey! I feel like you never left my side.
No. You need to either pull off a mustache or like a pair of glasses and be like, it was me the whole time.
Right before you die, you just go, you don't know? You don't know? Because I love you, man.
And then Axel F plays in slow, like, we get like a slow piano rendition of Axel F. It's like you walking away at the end of a Hulk episode. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, God.
Oh, you can tell I've thought about this for a while.
It would be the greatest comedy of all time.
I was driving in my car and I just had a visual of us in Beverly Hills Cop with me as everyone but Axel Foley, and I couldn't stop laughing.
It would be so. Oh my god, we got to figure out a way to do this. Once this shit gets off the ground. Oh my God, it'll be. Oh.
Listeners, help support us on Patreon. The more money we get for Patreon, the more we can make these crazy ideas real.
Jenny.
All right, so to answer Kendo Slice's question, I want to take the obvious choice of Jar Jar Binks, but would Jar Jar Binks not being in the Phantom Menace make the whole film good?
No, I mean it's there's a lot of other problems with it. Jar Jar just happens to be the one that we hate the most.
Curtis?
Well, I love the Phantom Menace, but I would go Spider-Man 3, Topher Grace. Simply because growing up with the 90s cartoon and everything, I'm used to giant-ass, hulkling Venom, and the minute I see Topher Grace on screen, it's laughable. Like, I cannot take him serious, no matter how badass the symbiote might be.
I'm with you there. I don't think they gave him enough time, or I don't think they had enough character development for Venom, because you gotta make him hate Spider-Man outside of just, oh, my girlfriend slept with you, or wants to sleep with you, or something stupid. You gotta have him, like, lose everything. And he didn't.
Yeah, very, very true. And, I mean, yeah, because I remember doing the commentary with you guys, and it was just like... you kept like moving the line of like where it got shitty and where it shit the bed.
Oh, listeners, that commentary comes out next month during Spider-Man month. You'll hear when that movie shits the bed, in my opinion. Get excited.
No, because I remember Dion was just like, no, this is a fart here. This is a fart here. So I was like, when does it shit the bed?
I was emotionally abused by that film. Man.
Yeah, I know.
Just like watching it. Oh.
I'm trying to.
You know,
I mean,
if
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
All I was gonna say, Nick, is a joke. Maybe if you took out the blonde lady from Dawn of the Dead and you basically made Dawn of the Dead about the two cops hanging out in the mall for like a year, that'd be a much better movie.
Well, I mean, you need to procreate, revive society somehow. So you need her for that.
I don't think in a zombie apocalypse it's your job to repopulate society. Like, if I was going to be stuck with you guys, I think we would have nothing but fun. Now, if there was one woman in the mix, we'd all be fighting over her, and it would get dark, and it wouldn't be cool. But if it was just all of us hanging out in a mall, shooting shit and drinking booze and eating the rest of the food that exists, it would be a good time.
That's a good point. It's a good point. We just gotta watch out for, fucking Hermione coming in and fucking hitting us in the face with axes and shit. That'd be great.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Great reference.
I almost gave up. I was like, man, is this one gonna be a little bit? Nah, fuck it. I'll just go for it, bro. So I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
Other movies that I think would be better without characters, or certain characters, would be
for me,
48 Hours, the Black
Ooh,
guy. Not
another 48 Hours. No, that's a good one. Go ahead, go.
That's all I said. Go ahead.
Who in another 48 Hours?
No, the black guy with the glasses, the real Iceman.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That one was... Plus, they just waited too goddamn long for that movie. What the fuck?
Eddie Murphy's so fat in that movie.
I know! What was he doing?
Because I watched, like, Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, and then I was like, oh, another 48 hours. I need to watch this. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Quit eating Twinkies, Eddie.
Well, if you pay not to shit on anybody because I'm not in that great of shape, but if you look at Beverly Hills Cop 2, you can see where that like rich lifestyle is getting Eddie Murphy, because he's kind of got a belly compared to the first movie. Like, Axel Foley's bone thin in the first one, but in part 2, like, he's kind of got a bit of a gut. So I'm just like, well, I guess Eddie Murphy's living the good life.
Just because you can have steak and lobster every night don't mean you should do it.
Have you ever seen that picture? This is the most badass picture I've ever seen. It's a picture of Eddie Murphy eating a steak off of a nude model on a balcony in France.
Yes. Oh, fuck yeah. I remember seeing it as a kid. I was like, I want him to be my dad. Like, that shit was crazy.
I just want to have that lifestyle. Like, how cool would that be? Like, come here, girl, you're going to be my plate.
Shit. Now him or her be like, oh, you're not going to rape me? Yeah, sure, no, that's great. It's like, we haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah, no, sure.
Dude, when you're that famous, you don't have to rape, all right? They just You're a celebrity, okay? If Zac Efron walked down the street, 9 out of 10 women would willingly bang him, and the 10th one would be a dude, and he probably would take it too. So everybody would probably say.
I'm about to say, there's definitely be some bros too being like, "Hey man, yo, I loved Baywatch, dude. Show me your dick."
Actually,
hold on, I need to take a timestamp for that.
Yeah. Actually, Baywatch would be better without him. Let me say that.
Speaking of which,
Baywatch would be better without him because, like, there was no need for him. You had like kind of like the dopey nerd guy we talked about in a previous episode, and you could have him and Rock Hook, them be a buddy comedy kind of thing. But having Efron in there was just like fucking overkill, man. I just didn't like him at all.
I could definitely see where you're coming from, and I kind of agree with you the more I think about it. It bothers me that I agree, because he was the actor I was most excited for.
I mean, he's okay, and I mean, I think there was one dramatic movie he did that I really liked, and he did really well, and I was like, oh, he's going places, he's gonna do something. And lately he hasn't. He's just been doing like really shitty comedies, so...
If I'm going to give my honest-to-God answer, it's going to be Shia LaBeouf from Indiana Jones 4.
I think that's probably the one that you wouldn't have one person be like, you know what, no, he's good. No, not one goddamn person's going to argue that point.
No.
Shia LaBeouf can be in whatever the fuck Shia LaBeouf wants to be in.
You just want to see his dick.
He has. No, but if you watch Indiana Jones 4, if you took out all the Mutt Williams scenes... it would be okay, because I'm tired of these, I gotta pass the torch on to the next generation type of movies.
Well, no, I mean, like, I understand them
you
doing
still have
that,
the refrigerator scene, though.
That doesn't offend me. We should do a commentary on where that movie shits the bed.
But, yeah, I mean, like, they were forcefully passing the torch in that one, and, like, when they should have done a better job in Ghostbusters anyways. But they forcefully did it in Indiana Jones, and it didn't work because nobody wanted it, because Harrison Ford will always be Indiana Jones, and they could just end it, they could just... ended it on the third movie and never watched, never done any more movies with him again, so.
Well, then again, as much as I love...
Crusade is the perfect ending.
Yeah, and as much as I love Shia now, and I do think he's a great... Him in Fury was amazing, but just, like, no one's going to believe... As cool as Indiana Jones is, no one's going to be like, yeah, that fucking kid from Holes, he's going to find some cool fucking shit. He's going to find some cool artifacts and fucking put them in the museum, yeah. Thanks, kid. No one's going to fucking say that shit. It's ridiculous. No.
Harrison Ford has a cool factor that's not matched by anyone else.
He's his own... He's like... him and Samuel L. Jackson and, a lot of those dudes that have their own personal cool factor. Harrison Ford has that, and Shia doesn't. He's not famous anymore.
Well, I would think... I was going to use this example, and I always bring it up. Like, Harrison Ford is the only white dude that can outcool Billy D. Williams. Like, when you watch Empire, Billy D. Williams is the slickest dude in the room until Han Solo shows up, and you're like, damn, even Han Solo's cooler than this smooth pimp from outer space. Harrison Ford has it. Like, that dude is so cool. He appeals to every generation, every race, every nationality. There's something about that dude. I don't know if it's that he's so bored that he comes off as cool, or he's so, curmudgeonly, even in his 30s, that he came off as cool. But his characters are timeless. And people go on and on about, well, Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis were the greatest action stars of the 80s. You could always throw Harrison Ford into that mix because the Indiana Jones trilogy came out. And those, I would argue, were better than all those movies, except Die Hard.
Well, even in fucking Raiders, when he's in the tomb, they go, well, maybe someone will come along and discover you. And that fucking laugh is so... That's my favorite part of Raiders. Just, son of a bitch. Like,
That's my favorite line, too.
He's so cool when he says that. And it's just like, God damn, dude.
Well,
I know this is another small part, but in Temple of Doom, when he goes to cut the bridge, he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I love that one little moment, too.
Well, I think it's in Raiders as well, where, like, he's in a crowd and there's a guy with, I think, a whip or he's doing some sort of, like, sword. And swordsman. And he just, like, pulls out his gun and shoots him and moves on. I was like, that's fucking cool.
Dysentery, but that was... He made Dysentery look fucking cool. There you go.
You know they were supposed to kill Saul off in that movie, too, right?
Yeah, yep.
But he ends up puking all over himself, and they're like, just cut it, we'll let him live. So that's why Saul returns returns for part 3.
Yes. I don't know, man. I think my answer, and this is just a personal movie that I like a lot, fucking Angelina Jolie and Alexander. Like, she's so awkward in that movie. The whole movie, they're trying to force his mom into it. I mean, you talk about how mommy issues will fuck up a whole project. That's like the biggest example. It's just like the most. I mean, her scenes with Colin Farrell are so fucking awkward. I mean, and I really want to like that movie. Obviously, with Rosario Dawson's Bush showing, but just Angelina Jolie. You take Angelina Jolie out of that movie, it is way fucking better.
Well, those were our Patreon questions.
You guys there?
If you,
Yeah,
we're here. You know, we actually,
Okay.
hold on, we have one more Patreon question I should answer, because this guy, I believe it comes from Murat Yilmaz, he asked this last week, and he phrased it wrong, and I don't want him to suffer, because he did donate. So, give me just a quick second to type this in from Patreon. Now, his question kind of threw me off, because I don't know what he was discussing. It might be a video game? Here we go. Murat Yilmaz, our Swedish connection. So, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, will it flop? I don't know what that is. So, do you guys know what that is?
Hellblade?
Yeah, Senua's Sacrifice.
I have no idea.
I don't know what that fucking is, man. I haven't heard of that at all.
So, it's a video game. It looks like it's coming out for the PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Windows. And let me look up some of the images.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, so I can't really say either way.
Well, Murat Yilmaz, why don't you just ask us another question so we can give you your money's worth? Because I don't think it would be fair to be like, well, we don't know what it is, so that's your question. So feel free to ask us anything more movie-related. We do play video games, but I don't think any of us, with the exception of Phil, who's no longer on this part of the show, follows like gaming journalism much. So anything else, it doesn't even have to be entertainment related. It could be like, it could be a personal question. We love to talk about ourselves, as you can tell. And by the way, Dion, I noticed you never wrote that letter to yourself.
Oh shit!
So, sir, I need that on air next week.
You know what? I think I probably started it. I probably have it, and just never ended up, since we never brought it back up. You know what? I'll find it. I know I have that saved somewhere. I know I do.
This game looks alright. I mean, visually it looks awesome. The girl that plays the main character looks like she's rendered well in the game. I don't know, like I said, man, just send us a new question. We'll gladly read it. And it could, it could be game related. Just pick a couple ones. Because I'm sorry, I just feel like a bad podcast host. Like, hey, your question, we don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Shithead. Okay, so, speaking of other fans, we got some great fans over on... Where are we? We're on YouTube. We have some great fans over on YouTube. Over 3,300 of you now, which has blown my mind. So, thank you for everyone that subscribed. If you found us through the yourmoviesucks.org post, fuck you. Let's go down to some comments from last week's episode of World Class Bullshitters. Pretty popular episode, almost 2,000 views. It was titled Wonder Winning and the Feminist Double Standard. So Andrew Hart said that he laughed his ass off when he saw his Mattel Justice League figures. I agree that they do look pretty shitty. Oh, you have many... and he says this is coming from the guy that has too many mediocre Marvel Legends figures. Well, Andrew Hart, tell me what you think the shittiest and the best Marvel Legend figure is, and I'll discuss that next week on the show. Because I'm dying to find Marvel Legends Cyclops, but no luck around these parts. Eric Ward says he has a great idea for the sequel to Wonder Woman. Supes and Batman tag team that Amazonian ass. The SJW would collectively shit their pants, or come in them, if you ask me.
like Superman wakes up from his fucking sleep in the upper atmosphere and just like swoops down to to get in on some of that action.
One of them spreads her legs, the bat signal appears, and Batman's like, I gotta go. This would only work if it was Adam West Batman, Linda Carter Wonder Woman, and Christopher Reeve Superman.
Man, that's a dream right there.
That's a three-way I would actively want to watch. Like, oh yeah, give it to her, Batman. If I ever saw Ben Affleck's balls, I'd probably cry myself to sleep.
Well, I think his girlfriend says the exact same thing too.
This one comes from Reality's Frank. Introductionarily wise, is Dion turning into Mary Poppins?
Yes. Shimmery motherfucker.
Are you blue?
Dabba dee what?
Oggs for President says he was discussing Justin's topic from last week. He thinks that Spider-Man has the best rogues gallery.
That's fine.
Huh.
I guess.
Here we go. Joshua Burnett. I'd pay to see Kevin Feige get sexually assaulted. LOL, fuck you, Marvel. Spider-Man Homecoming looks like Disney XD after school special. Too bad it didn't show Gal Gadot's meat curtains in the after credit sequence. Loved the WCBs show. Thank you, Joshua Burnett. We love you too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the way that the trailer always begins for Spider-Man Homecoming is very like high school. Like high school's hard, but I'm also a superhero, and I got to deal with Tony Stark. This is difficult. It's like we get it. We get it. Thank you.
Here's a great comment from Bald Mad Mac. This is the best stuff to listen to, except at work. A female customer heard this, and I had to stop because she seemed to get mad at all the stuff about the meh rating for the Wonder Woman movie.
Well, if you're listening now, female coworker, you're a cunt.
Okay, Andrew Hart had another great comment. I had to thumbs up and heart because this was important to me. It's surprising Comic Book Girl 19 hasn't been brought up on your channel. Well, because she's not someone I subscribe to, but I've watched her videos. She's kind of off-putting. That's my personal opinion. You guys know who she is?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos. They're extremely long-winded, and it's just like, get to the fucking point. And
was she the one that did she watched Supergirl again or some shit? She's the not super attractive kind of chubby girl with the gay dude is her fucking. She has on her show a bunch or something.
Is she attractive? That's what matters.
No.
Is she attractive?
No, Comic Book Girl 19 has like pink and red hair. I'll send you guys a picture of her.
Okay.
She is long-winded, and I don't like her robot, and the way her show's edited is very long. Like, it's like there's a joke, and then there's a scene of a beat of silence, and then it goes to something else. There shouldn't be that beat.
The
of
typical
silence.
YouTube thing where they say something stupid and then it cuts, and then it cuts again, and then they're back talking.
yeah,
Yeah, that actually comes from that guy with the glasses channel. That guy has ruined the internet for a lot of people.
When I think YouTube, that's the exact editing style I think, and that's what turns me off to it. It's such a fucking copy and paste cookie cutter kind of atmosphere. I fucking hate YouTube.
Do you want me to send you a good picture of Comic Book Girl 19 to make you think she's attractive, or just
Yeah, and then send the real one where she's a fat, disgusting comic book pig.
Oh, she is not fat or disgusting. She's just not. You'd like her, Curtis. She is not my type.
Daddy issues?
You'll like her.
oh yeah, dude.
Sure, she has them.
all day, all fucking
Oh,
day.
yeah. I'd lick her asshole. I'd lick her asshole.
That was quick.
I thought Dion said she was chubby.
He had the wrong girl. He's probably thinking of Lacey Green.
Oh my god. She's got like Katy Perry's... Oh, her hair, though. Is she a dyke?
No, I don't. I maybe.
Because that would be a waste.
Well, who asked this question? Andrew Hart. I tend not to watch too many people's opinions on comic books because I actually read the books and I consume the media myself. So I don't really... I'm not trying to sound too condescending when I say this, but I don't really need their take on it because they don't interest me. They don't bring anything new to the table that I haven't already discovered myself or a conclusion that most people come to. I think she's popular, I guess, because she's kind of cute and she's a girl who's a nerd. Like, remember the nerd girl epidemic of the late 2010s? Like, everyone thought that was such a big deal. Whatever. Yeah,
and you had a ton of fake nerd girls coming out and everything. It was a whole thing. There was a war, and we had to kill some of them. It was rough times. It was rough times.
He also asked Andrew Hart, is there going to be a Mummy review? Well, Andrew Hart, if you listen to this week's episode, you have heard our Mummy review.
Yeah, I watched it so you don't have to.
That should be our phrase. We watch it so you don't have to. Tyro Apache has an idea for the show. Every week, pitch a shitty film that should be remade, but it has to predate the 2000s.
Oh, God.
I'm going to heart that so we can take that down for a later... Let's see. Jarrell Gray says Deadpool was better than Wonder Woman.
Of course it was.
The fan cast was telling people about the episode. You guys should go listen to the fan cast. They're the clean version of us? No, they're not. They made a lot of Mexican jokes. Like, a lot!
Who's ripping us off?
Like, we may make... Brian Lape and Liquid Metal Pro and Kendo Slice.
Oh, cool.
Emperor Palpatine commented, he loved Wonder Woman. He may go see it again.
All right, man. Good for you.
I hope you die on the second Death Star.
No! Is what I would say to that.
You will die.
I do love the whole Darth Vader picking him up, but I wish they would just take out the fucking nose that they have in there.
I watched a whole 10-minute video on like Darth Vader's suit and the panels on, you know, like what the panels mean on his suit. It was really interesting.
I saw the one from Revenge of the Sith in person, and it's really disappointing.
Oh, really?
Because the suit is so small, but the mask is so giant.
Well, and even Rogue One, like his helmet was fucking huge. It seemed like in Rogue One.
I think what they do is they just get a tall, skinny guy, and they assume that the costume will fill out the rest. But David Prowse was a bodybuilder. Like, you need a 6'6" or 6 foot. Imagine if I was in perfect shape. You could have me play Darth Vader, because that's what the guy that originally played him was built like.
Gotcha.
So you need a bigger dude. Darth Vader wasn't like a skinny little dude in a robot suit. The guy that played him was a
he was a tall, menacing character. Yeah.
He trained Christopher Reeve to play Superman, like, physically wise. Yeah, that's the guy that they hired him to train Christopher Reeve to put on muscle.
Damn, alright.
Yeah, so David Prowse was the real deal.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Okay, so good friend of the show, Nathan Simmons, asks if we're ever going to do a video on Jeremy Cunt. He means Jeremy Johns. Yes, we will, because Dion and I are going to partake in a series called The Problem With, where we're going to talk about the problem with Jeremy Johns, Screen Junkies, what's that guy's name? Chris Stuckman, CinemaSins. Dion and I are going to do a whole series of those videos. Probably around August, because next month is Spider-Man month. We don't want to oversaturate the channel. But, and by the way, next week, listeners, I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the show, we'll have the podcasts and Ring Rust, but there probably won't be any other videos throughout the week because I got to go somewhere. But there will still be a podcast, so don't worry. What else is going on in the comments section?
Anything from Dark Knight?
A lot. Well, he's using his Christopher Littleton handle. He said GoldenEye has the best villain. He doesn't like Game of Thrones. He wants to bust a nut on Princess Peach and Daisy.
He's my favorite fan. He's been for a while now. He is like a whiter version of me.
And he's black. I love how blunt he is in our comments. Like, just flat out. Like, fuck you, Sony. Like, there's no, like, hey, I'm going to make a joke. No, it's fuck you, Sony. I love that. Oh, here's a comment. I love how Curtis says the shit that triggers these safe space bitches.
See, he's a good guy.
That's why he's here.
He's got good taste.
Brian Lape was surprised during the comment, pick her brain and pick her ass. How did I get swerved into this? Take it as a compliment, dude, alright? Compliment. Kendo Slice. I'll gladly shit all over Kevin Smith films. Used to love his movies, but then he started making shit for no reason. If it isn't Jan Silent Bob, it's shitty.
Yeah, I mean, I did like Red State. I think that's kind of like his point of no return. Like, he did Red State, and that was cool. I liked it. It was nice, and then, like, everything immediately went fucking downhill. Like, immediately.
Yeah, Jeff, you and I watched that in your dorm room. You remember that?
What?
You and I watched Red State back in the day?
Oh, yeah, I remember watching it for sure. I didn't realize you were there with me, but I remember seeing that movie.
Well, that hurts my feelings, but yeah.
Next time, speak up, cough or something, man. You don't just sit there that silently.
Yeah, we were so engrossed in the film, and John Goodman was so good, man. We loved it.
He is good, though. He is amazing.
He's definitely one of those people that has continually gotten better over his career. Most actors kind of peak, and then they just ride out. Like, Robert De Niro has been the same since, like, 1990.
He's been the same since Heat.
Yeah, no, Heat is definitely his last, like, great character, for sure.
Yeah. Well, like...
Yeah,
like,
I
believe the same thing about like John Lithgow. John Lithgow is fucking amazing, and he should be in more stuff. But whatever.
He was in Dexter.
He is.
Yeah.
He was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
That's right. He was the dad. I forgot about
Shit.
that.
No. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Talk about a sad moment.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he's like, even seeing him in that season of Dexter, really that really shocked me because he did so fucking well, and he was so terrifying in that season that I loved him immediately. I was like, damn, dude, you need more work, man.
I think he helped break his public perception of Dick Solomon from Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, definitely.
Because he was a goofy, weird, balding white guy that played an alien. Now he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And
then you go back and you watch his old roles, and he's great.
I watched 2010, the sequel to 2001, and I couldn't shake the fact that he was the alien from fucking Third Rock. Because my grandparents used to watch that shit all the time. It was hard to take him serious.
You want to shake something? Watch Ricochet with him and Denzel Washington, where Denzel's
dude,
he's a fucking a lawyer, and as a cop, he stopped John Lithgow from killing somebody, and he gets out of prison and fucks his life up. He makes a hooker fuck Denzel Washington with like chlamydia or something, Nick, and it's fucking crazy.
I've seen the movie. I fucking love it.
Yeah,
I forgot about it until you mentioned it.
Yeah, Ice-T's randomly in it, but he's watched Ricochet, man. He will that shit, and that was well before Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, that was that's a damn good movie. I've seen a lot. Yeah. Oh man, it's fucking good.
He used to. I remember seeing him in Third Rock from the Sun as a kid, and I had seen Ricochet, and I was like, "Oh my god, they know who that guy? Do they know what he's capable of?" That scared the fuck out of me.
Dude, speaking of Ice-T, what was that movie where he got hunted?
Surviving the Game. You and I got drunk and watched that movie.
Surviving the Game.
I'd seen it as a kid, and it was a Thirsty Thursday. You and I got drunk and watched it, and we were both just like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
That was the worst. That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It's not like that bad.
It Comes at Night of the 90s.
It's not that bad, but his awesome fight scene with Gary Busey while the house is on fire, and the best part is like he hits Gary Busey and he goes up against the house and he does his Gary Busey scream like "ah" because the house is all hot and stuff. I laughed at that part.
It is on
every
fire.
Fucking time.
I don't like this house is hot.
Oh,
fuck that.
So good. I love that movie so much. It's so bad. It's great.
Oh,
let's see. Anything else? There's a little bit of a tiff between people in the comments section because somebody said, "Hey, I hate Chris Stuckman," and people are trying to defend him. That's fine. You can defend him. Dion and I aren't going to defend his candy ass, but be prepared for that.
Of course, there's someone that's going to fucking. Oh man, he's objective. Like he doesn't know what the word. He can't spell objective.
Unless it's spelled D-I-S-N-E-Y.
Yes.
So our final comment of the week comes from Derek Nelson. And this guy's profile picture is so happy. It's of a smiling man. And then you look at it closely and it's Kurt Cobain. But his comment was, "Fuck yeah, best time of the week. Time to get my bullshitters on." Thank you, sir, that you wait each week to listen to this podcast. It makes it worth it.
I'm going to ask an unbelievable deity in the sky to bless you and your family, who are all probably horrible, but God bless you.
Oh, dear Jehovah. Hey, speaking of religious nuts, what do you think of that guy that shot those people in Virginia?
That shit was pretty nuts, man. That shit was pretty nuts.
That was 5 minutes from
I saw the shooting. I was like, God damn, dude. Did you see the cell phone video where the dude's hiding behind the garbage can and he hears the shots ring out? Now, obviously, I didn't watch the whole one, and obviously it could be a fake because, news is fucking stupid. But I watched that. I was like, God, that's fucking nuts.
What was the shooting?
Yeah, well, what happened exactly?
The baseball game.
That wasn't a religious nut. Legitimately, it was a Bernie Sanders supporter who had signed a petition to impeach Trump or whatever. So it wasn't like a religious guy, it was a fucking liberal. It was just a gun fucking toting liberal that shot a bunch of conservatives.
I'm sorry, but when a liberal gets a gun and starts shooting people, that's kind of fucked up.
You're your own problem.
Yeah, I was going to say you're your own problem. And it's like Republicans have been doing this for years, and you're picking up a gun now and doing it. Oh God.
I just wanted to bring up that Joel was close to not the firefight per se, but he's 5 minutes away.
Yeah,
So if I was 5 minutes away from 9/11, shut up! I knew you were going to say that.
You said it. You gave me the door, man. I just walked through it.
Yeah, and I mean,
Make me a promise as my friend. Every time I say firefight, you do that. Okay?
Jeez. What did Joel have to say about it? Like, I'm sure, like, the roads were blocked off. You know, the government was, at everybody's doorstep. Like, what was the deal?
Did he wet his depends?
Well, no. Joel just bought a house, so he doesn't really care.
Oh.
Like, he bought a house the day that happened. He wasn't even concerned. But he's like, I was 5 minutes away from that shooting, by the way. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad you're not dead. I'm glad you don't play sports.
Because he's old and has depends.
Yeah, he'll tear his knee, break his hip.
Both of them, we don't want Joel, like,
at the same time. I'm not going to carry him around for WrestleMania. So, we got an email directly from Gwyneth Paltrow, and I'm not joking, and it's titled This, That, and Number 3. And we can meet Gwyneth Paltrow at a Nordstrom, where she'll sign her cookbook.
At a Nordstrom?
Of course, the Nordstrom.
Dear Gwyneth, show us your 7-inch bush. Your friends want those pictures.
I'd gargle a mouth
like to see that
for
for
number
real.
3.
Oh, God.
So Christopher Littleton shot us a few emails. He asked us if he thinks the MCU is going to be a thing after Infinity War.
I personally, I don't think so, because there's already fatigue amongst us even. So, I mean, that shows you that I think we're waiting for the end, and then it's just going to be over.
Yeah, I can't believe I've been having these thoughts as of late. Like, man, these Marvel movies, they were great, and I love them, and I'm not going to all of a sudden change my opinion on them, but I'm okay with them having a finite end. Like, after this wave that's building to Infinity War, I've said it 20 times, I'll say it one more time, I'm good. Like, I don't care about another Spider-Man, I don't care about Captain Marvel, I barely want to see the Black Panther. Like, and can you believe all those people that are getting all upset that we don't like the trailer?
Like, goddamn,
oh, you guys are racist.
And we never, and like, I'm sure there's people who didn't watch the video because we never said, it's because he's black, we don't like him. We never said that. Never does that come up, and never is that even a fucking, like, topic.
My favorite comments to bitch about are, you angry white boys.
Yeah.
Listen, bitch. On that video, every guy there was not a white guy on the podcast. There was a white woman.
And she's fucking a black
There
guy.
you go. Yeah, so there you go. Like, what's your fucking argument? These people don't have real arguments. It's, oh, you're a racist. Fuck you. I'm not racist. I just have differing opinions. And I have a better, well-thought-out opinion.
Movie might not
just,
be
oh
that
my
good,
God,
bro. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one said the movie's gonna suck. We said the trailer wasn't that great.
And yeah, it's the teaser trailer. It's the fucking teaser trailer. You're getting up in arms because we reviewed that teaser trailer. Go get a real job.
And you can criticize a film based on a trailer.
Yeah,
That's why they release them.
Yeah.
Like, you can be like,
and that's the thing I hate about people. It's like, oh, don't criticize on the trailer. I was like, these days we can, because we know all the tropes. We know what movies are, pretty much going to do, and you can tell by the trailer what's going to happen. This one you couldn't, because everything was just like cut together like some like Michael J. Fox was editing it or something, like this sporadic bullshit.
You mean very well.
Yeah.
He's an actor that hasn't been in anything I hate. Everything I've ever seen him in, I enjoy.
Sure.
I think he was my first actor that I followed through multiple
Michael J.
things.
Fox?
Like TV.
You watch The American President?
TV movies? No, I haven't.
I'm sure you wouldn't hate him. I just would have loved to see you watching a net-bending romantic comedy with Michael Douglas.
I remember seeing that poster at the cheap $2 theater, and I never wanted to watch it.
Wait, is that the movie where he gets stuck in like an embassy or whatever? Is that movie?
No, American president, Michael Douglas is the president, and he's falling in love with Annette Bening, and I think Michael J. Fox is one of his press secretary, I think.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, I used to watch like Spin City.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Back
Spin
to
City.
the Future, The Frighteners.
Dude, oh my God, Frighteners.
All that shit. That's a great... Dude, if we do a Schlocktoberfest, Frighteners.
God, yes.
I would love, over the course of the year, if we had the time, to do nothing but shitty 90s horror films, and we could do a commentary a day.
Ooh.
Like, we reviewed every shitty 90s slasher.
That's
I want the commentaries
a lot of time.
But I want the commentaries to consist of Dion going, man, when I was a kid, I wanted to fuck her so bad.
Oh, fuck.
That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So, this has been episode 76 of World Class Bullshitters. Every Thursday night, we take a dump on the world of pop culture. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We kind of need some thumbs up because we got all these keyboard warriors from YourMovieSucks.org's channel coming over and talking shit. Because the guy couldn't handle that we had a differing opinion. And guess what, motherfucker? Sindaki, New York is not a brilliant film, so go fuck yourself. If you like this video, like I said, give it a thumbs up. Head over to Patreon and help us out. We're growing. We could always use more. We'd like to get a worldclassbullshitters.com domain and maybe, new equipment and to help the channel grow. Any dollar you give us is not going into the pocket of me or anyone else to just live on. It's going to actually go towards creating better content, like actual videos. Because I see a lot of people on YouTube that have like 100,000 subscribers and their videos are just a dude sitting in front of a camera. So you know what? I'll act like Movie Bob's retarded ass, and I'll just sit in front of a camera, and I'll say the same shit that you hear me say behind a microphone. You can find us over on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. We have two groups. We have an official fan page where you can interact with us, and we also just have a page where we put all the information out, when episodes go live, all kinds of great shit like that. Maybe I'll start putting polls and questions on there, too, and we can read them on air. Just fun stuff. We also have a Twitter, thanks to Nick, and the Twitter is blowing up. How many are we at? Like 2,000 followers?
No, I think we're just under that. Let me check real quick. Come on.
We also have an Instagram, so that's cool.
Yeah, lots of ballsack pictures.
Oh yeah, nothing but the furriest of ball sacks. Like, we can get away with it because their image filtering software can't really detect a ball sack. They don't. No.
They'll detect nipples at like fucking light speed, but goddamn it, they when they look at a ball sack, what the fuck is that? What's going on here?
Is it like a topographical map of Mars? I don't know. It's weird.
No, we have 1,332 followers on Twitter.
So we're quite a ways away from 2,000.
Yeah, but it's happening slowly but surely.
Well, we'll get there. We're going to keep going. This channel's not dying.
You're damn right it isn't.
So, do you guys have anything you'd like to add before we put this one out to pasture?
No, sir.
No, I love America and go team?
That too. America.
That was the greatest thing you ever said, Dion. God bless. I love America and go team. Go team. That's on one of the earlier episodes. I would love to have that as your ringtone. Oh, by the way, Augs for President actually took the timestamps.
Did he really?
For when I talk about growing with... Yeah, I got them written down when I grew with the Jonah Hill films. I don't know why you found that so funny, but you did.
It was... Oh, God. It was just... The genuine... you were just so... It was great. It was perfect. Perfect.
I'm enthusiastic about my comedy starring fat Jewish people.
Hey, I'm okay with that shit too. Already, I want to take a drink.
Is he really fat anymore, though? He's still Jewish, though. I think.
Who?
I assume every.
Yeah. He's still very much Jewish.
All right, cool. I mean, it's not something you just stop being.
That's a good point.
Stop being rich, and you can stop being successful. But you
can't I solution for that.
You mean like something you can drink like a solution?
Like turpentine?
Well, I think a lot of people in the entertainment industry always try to be Jewish because, like, you know, then they can be part of, you know, the bigger picture and make more money and stuff like that. So that's always a thing too. They'll convert.
I got the hair to pull it off. I should start telling people I'm Jewish.
You should. It'll make the channel grow even more.
Dude, I'll have Shira cover for me, Dion.
Ooh, there you go. I only fuck big Jewish guys.
All right, I've been your host, Jeff Hicks.
I am the man with the plan, the original tan, and if you were alive in the 90s, I probably wanted to fuck you.
I've been your friendly neighborhood Samoan saying, I still hate people.
If you're worried about the future of
one
this country...
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, say it, and then I gotta say something to Dion.
If you're worried about the future of this country, remember that you can't spell triumph without Trump.
Do you mean anyone that was alive in the 90s, Dion?
I mean, you know, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
So, like Rosie O'Donnell and Kathy Griffin was your dream double team
they're
as a kid. Like, oh
they're
man,
on the JV team. They're on the JV team for sure.
Have you ever considered sticking your dick in Rosie O'Donnell?
I remember the episode where she had Wesley Snipes on her show, and I was like, you know what? You know what, Wesley? That's MASH.
Did you live vicariously through Wesley Snipes as a small child?
For a very long time, yeah. I mean, when Blade came out, I was like, you know what? I hope he could be my second dad.
Danny Glover's
right. Danny Glover's he's my birth father, but he was always gone, living off that Lethal Weapon money. You know, I didn't see him after Buffalo Soldiers came out, so yeah, I was always looking for other dads.
Daddy Glover left you. All right, folks, have a good one. I don't know what else to say after that.